Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. And I have some great what solds we're going to show you. We're going to talk a little bit about ads, about the new priority ads and my strategy, because I definitely changed my ad strategy up a bit. I'm working on getting some Viewmasters here sorted. I have a whole bunch of these that I got to get sorted out, and I'm going to be lotting them up into different lots. So I have, like, these are different European countries I have. I have some from California, from around the country. I have some theme park stuff. So I'm going to be lotting these up and selling them off in different lots here. So I'm working on that. As you can see, Thanksgiving, we got the pumpkin set up. So Thanksgiving is here. It's upon us. So whether we like it or not, it's here. What else? Oh, I have a computer networking item I'm going to show you guys later that I sold. And I believe it can really help you guys as far as, your home networking setup, so that way all your devices can be connected to your network, and therefore, they would be connected to the internet. Because a lot of people think, networking and internet, well, yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand, but you really got to connect you can have a network with no internet, and you got to connect your internet to your network, so that way you can have a connection, so you got to be out there to the world. And it's something I'm very passionate about. You guys have heard me talk about how I really, really dislike, the routers that are out there. And one of the main reasons, because if you ever had to turn them on and off, they're designed to multitask, and humans think they can multitask, but we can't. In reality, we're not wired to multitask. Where you think you can multitask, you can't really do it. We're not wired for that. But yet we kind of push that onto the things that we come up with, we develop, we invent. And, routers, the reason why you have to turn it on and off is because basically they got to go to bed and reset. They got to reset their lives. they're doing, whether, I don't think many people realize that most routers are handling routing of traffic. They're also a switch. The switch, it means, they usually have like 4 ports in the back. That's a switch, technically. And then they're also, doing the wireless access point as well, too. Well, if you look at an enterprise setup, at a company, they separate all those jobs out on their network. So there are wireless access points that all they do is wireless access. There's switches that all they do is they're just a switch. There's routers. All they do is route traffic. That is it. There's the modems, which, the modems are actually what bring the internet in. And some home routers have that built in too. So they're doing 4 jobs. And sometimes, they kind of spaz out a little bit, or they freak out. They have an anxiety attack. And then they got to reset, just like humans, So, but there are some, devices and things you can add to your network. I know not everybody can have an enterprise level network. It's not, most people would probably have to pay somebody to come in and do it, and it's not cheap. I'll tell you that right now. My going rate back in the day, I think, was $75 an hour back in the day. And I was being generous, as a matter of fact. So, because it was kind of a side thing, and it was fun for me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going to people's houses and setting up their home networks, computers, whatever they needed. I really like to help the people, basically. To help provide the people, because businesses, they I prefer to help the people. So, but. Oh, well, so I'm been a little fancy today. I reached into the cabinet. So, this is Hudson whiskey. It's a straight rye whiskey. Very good. One of my personal favorite. I mean, Hudson whiskey, they have all kinds of expressions, but rye is one of my favorites. It's very citrusy, very smoky. I mean, it takes me, on the nose, or the smell, basically, is, sweet fruit, citrus. A little bit of smoke in there as well too, but on the taste, it takes me straight to a campfire, straight to, when I was backpacking, camping, and everything with my friends, and just enjoying. It's all about for me, it's a cup of memories. And the taste as well too. You get those tastes in there too. It just takes me straight back, to a time when we were out and about with our friends, middle of the night, having great stories and going on night hikes, trying to scare each other. Really cool. But yeah, Hudson whiskey, really really great. Oh, that's really really good. Um, and then well, let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into the ads and promotions here. I do have a little bit to talk about because I changed up my strategy, and I'll go through the logic on that. And one of the main reasons is because offsite ads in September, I've talked about this before, they kind of just dropped off. They fell off a cliff. There were no more clicks. I don't know what happened. I mean, there were still a few clicks here and there, but it wasn't what it was prior to in August. August was great. It was great up until September. Uh, and I'm like, what the heck happened? I've been trying to figure it out. I've been trying to come up with a solution to get more eyes on my items. And I was using offsite ads to get more eyes on my items, and I was seeing a really, really great, return on ad spend on that. It was really, really good. And I was like, oh man, I wonder what happened. Excuse me. We're seeing a little bit of dip in sales. Things were still going great. Things were on average, but we were seeing a little bit above average, and then things kind of fell to the average. And I'm like, all right, I got to do something. I got to figure something out here. Now I'm just working through the logic here, and I was getting the banners to promoting. eBay's promoting priority ads and wanting me to use priority ads. And I did try it ever so briefly. And ever so briefly means like about less than an hour. And the main reason was because the clicks were crazy. I tested. I was all right. Let me just do a test really quick. I tested just on one category on shoes, men's shoes, and I just set the suggested budget, which I think was like $20 something or so, somewhere around there. All right, let's run it and see what happens. See what we can do. See if we can get some sales. And the clicks came in and the money went out so fast. I'm like, wow, that was a lot faster than I anticipated because I was used to the offsite ads, which, end up about 30 to 40-ish clicks or so by the end of the day. And so I'm like, all right, that's what I was kind of used to and anticipating. No, those clicks just rattled off, really, really fast. Boom. Less than an hour, budget was gone. Budget was over. So like, holy cow, that happened so quickly. Also, too, on a side note, everybody's saying that eBay's dead. Nobody's shopping on eBay anymore. Nobody's on eBay. Well, try this priority ad thing, and you will see how many people are on there just clicking away at your items, in general. It happens so fast. So I'm like, all right, so I scrapped it. Now, fast forward to now, or last week. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give it a whirl again, and I was just gonna do the whole store. We're putting everything in the priority ad bucket. That is so good. I haven't had it in a while. I'm typically, just pour from my decanters, which, I usually keep a bourbon of some kind in there. Also have a peated scotch, regular scotch, Jameson. Jameson's one of my favorites. I usually have a Jameson out. And usually some sort of regular, just whiskey, non-bourbon, just American whiskey out as well too. So when I do reach into the cabinet from time to time, I'm like, wow, I'm just kind of like, it kind of blows me away. But yeah, I had to slow down my buying on that as well too. I'm a collector of a lot of things. Okay, but what would I say? I was saying, so the clicks were happening, really, really quick. So I was like, all right, I got to jump back in. I got to do something. And so I was like, okay, let's give it a try again. And like I said, I'm going to throw the whole store up. We're going to put the whole store out there. eBay recommended, I think it was $46 per day. I'm like, $46 a day. Whew. I'm like, all right, well, let's just give it a whirl and see what happens. As soon as it went active, those clicks came rolling in and the money went straight out. again in less than an hour. I'm like, holy cow, this is wild. I can't be doing $46 a day. Okay. Now, as far as advertising goes, that is not even a drop in the bucket. That is like just before the water even hits the bucket. What people spend, it evaporates by the time it even hits the bucket. I mean, we're talking about small fractions of a penny. That's in comparison to what companies and larger businesses do, and what they spend on ads. They spend a lot of money on ads. So what we're spending here on ads, really not that much. Really, really not that much. So I'm like, okay, I got to control this. I personally cannot be spending $46 a day in ads. That's really, really got to translate to a lot of sales. And so I turned it off immediately. I was like, no, let's just turn that off for now. And let me just figure it out here. So I was going through everything, and I came down to $15 a day. And then you can also set how much you're willing to spend per click. So I put 25 cents per click. I believe it recommended 60 cents, somewhere around there. I forgot. But I was like, I'll set it 25 cents and daily budget to 15. Well, let me tell you, come midnight, yeah, I'm typically a night owl, so I'll usually stay up for a little bit, but I don't monitor it. I don't monitor things after that. I'm kind of just relaxing, taking it easy for the evening, and then I go to bed. And by the time I get up, those clicks are long gone. It's already set. When I get up and I check it, out of budget. So it goes out of budget very, very quickly. I'm hoping the cost per click kind of, I set it kind of lower than what they recommended to kind of help also rein in those clicks as well too. However, let's look at the numbers here. The numbers are ad fees. What I've spent so far is $104.64, and total sales based on what I've spent on ads, $180.35. Now that's sales, so that's not money in the bank. That's not the profit. Okay, there's a lot of other expenses that go into that. So technically, we're losing money. We're losing money compared to what we're spending on ads. After about 4 days, we saw our first sale due to the priority ads. So meaning somebody clicked on it and actually bought the item. And we've been seeing sales ever since, due to someone actually clicking and buying. What I would like to see, and I don't know if they can show us this, and what I believe is happening is that people are seeing these items and they are perhaps becoming watchers, or it's their history, or maybe it gets recommended later, and they're purchasing later. They're not purchasing during the click, but they're purchasing later in the day, because we have seen, since sales have been coming in, an uptick in sales and an uptick in offers, and uptick in up to all across the board, uptick in views, in impressions. Now impressions isn't really, you got to have eyes on your items. You need impressions, there is always going to be a lot of impressions compared to people that actually click and buy. I mean, look at companies that spend millions and millions of dollars on the Super Bowl because you get millions and millions of views. In reality, it doesn't translate to millions and millions of sales. It probably translates to maybe 1,000, maybe a few hundred, maybe a couple thousand. That's what they're really shooting for. Advertising people know this. They know that, there's a, we're going to shoot this out there for millions and millions of people to see, and then eventually they'll translate to maybe a few thousand in sales. So they're well aware of this, and they set up budgets appropriately, but they obviously have large budgets. We don't have that large, but we don't have millions of dollars in a budget. So $104 is quite a bit of money to spend on sales. But if that can translate to a lot, $104 is a lot in ad spend, and if that translates to a significant more in sales, therefore we get more money, more profit, hopefully. I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to spend more money to make money. I'm obviously spending a lot more on this than offsite ads. Spending a lot more on this than I was doing the store promotion, promoting a coupon, which is directing people to my store. I'm spending way more on this than standard promoted. Um, and I've even thought of potentially turning off standard promoted and going all in on priority. But we'll see. We'll see how. So far it is looking pretty good. The numbers are looking good. Sales are actually happening based on these clicks, and I definitely think eBay is pushing these priority ads more than offsite ads. Remember, with offsite ads, they have to share that money with Google. They don't get to keep all that. With priority ads, they keep all this click money. All this money that people are clicking away. As the clicks come in, the money's flying out. That's going to eBay here, as far as opposed to the offsite, which eBay has to share with Google. So it's looking pretty good. I'm really liking what I am seeing so far. The impressions have shot up like crazy. Obviously, again, the impressions are going up, so that means more people are seeing it, not necessarily clicking on it. They're just getting an impression. They're just looking at it. They're not necessarily even clicking on your item yet. Maybe they scrolled, stopped, and they kept going. So impressions are good. However, we want to translate hopefully that impression to a click, and more than just a click, but actually hitting the buy button. And we are definitely seeing a lot more buys, a lot more offers, a lot more what do you call it? People I can actually send offers to as well too. That's also every morning I wake up, I'm seeing probably about 35, anywhere from 35 to 40 offers I can shoot out just overnight. So I'm like, wow. And then throughout the day, we're still getting those as well too. So that's pretty good. Obviously, those don't necessarily always translate to sales, but it's a good sign that people are interested in the item. At least they're showing some interest. Whether or not they're watching it or not, who knows. But there is some interest. Otherwise, a lot of talking. And see, that's about enough. Okay, so I know I talk a lot about whiskey, and you guys may think, oh man, this guy drinks a lot. Well, that's about the amount. Okay, I've been drinking it just a little bit right now on stream, but reality is, it's like that much in there. So it's not. It's less than an actual a shot. So it's not that much. So I just like to enjoy the experience, and whiskey's expensive, so I don't want to drink it all down in shots. I'm not a shot person, and I invest in good whiskey because it's something I like. It's something I enjoy. So really cool. All right. Let's look at what's sold. Let's jump into it here. I forgot because the other day I stopped the video and then I redid it later. I was giving myself a break for no reason at all because I'm not getting a break in this one. Let me move my mouse out here really quick to this side. Okay, let's look at these what sold. Really cool item right off the bat here. Let's pull this up right now. Where's my mouse at? Oh, there we go. It's a clock. It's an alarm clock, and you're wondering why in the world are people buying alarm clocks in this day and age? They don't even change with you have to physically change them when the daylight savings time is, whether you have it or not. I know some states don't, but people still buy these things. And this clock, this actual clock here has a. If you guys are looking at sell-through rate, I don't really look at sell-through rate around here. Can I sell it or can I not sell it? But this one has an incredible sell-through rate if you're interested in that. But really cool, just retro alarm clock. Has a really vintage, like mint green, mid-century-ish look to it. The actual arms there, they glow in the dark. So if you guys remember those old like Timex watches, which glowed in the dark and all that, really cool piece. I pick up these alarm clocks all the time. If you guys saw the Sacramento video where I picked up some really really small, cool, fake wood looking alarm clocks, they sell all the time, just like the old rotary phones, touch tone phones. They still sell. Old cell phone, flip phones, they still sell. So keep your eye out for these old vintage retro things from back in the day. I remember my grandmother had this little yellow clock. I don't even know what brand it was. Tiny little yellow. It was already yellowing. Um, clock that she always kept by her bedside. It was the one clock she always had it and always worked. So old alarm clock. So West clocks loud alarm clock. I used loud because a lot of the people that were selling it used the same word, and it is pretty loud. So this one actually took batteries. It is a battery operated, so you had to remove the back. Actually, it's all metal. It's an all metal design, so really really cool. Very very solid piece. So you had to remove two screws from the back to put in two batteries. It looked initially like a wind up, but it is battery operated. So Big Ben Green retro. Retro is a great word to use if it does look retro or it is a retro piece. Vintage, travel, portable. I always put in these alarm clocks. I'll always put travel portable, in case people take them out to if they're traveling, if they're at the what do you call it? I take an alarm clock for when we go to Disneyland, so that way I can wake up because usually I'm exhausted. Going to Disneyland is so exhausting. And so, and you want to go there, you want to get the most out of your money, right? You want to get there as early as you can, enjoy everything as fast as possible. So I need to wake up, and I bring an alarm clock for that purpose as well, too. So really cool piece. Oh, what did it sell for? What do we sell it for? I told you I was going to have something ready, but I didn't. So alarm clock. What do we sell? We sold this for $32.08. And what was the shipping on this? $9.37 because it's over a pound. And this one I did put into a box. It was a 9 by 7 by 975 box. Now for a 975 box, if you put 2 pounds and then you put in the dimensions, it will give you the reduced cubic rate for that box. It's a few cents cheaper. It's not like $1 or $2. It's a few cents cheaper, but every cent counts. Okay. And the next item here, I gotta move this over to the other screen. Oh no, here it is. It is on this screen. Okay, cool. Okay, so the next item here, and this thing is random, about as random as you can get here. A paracord survival kit. Well, I mean, it is a little bit of a a necessity if you're a camper or anything. It has a paracord. It has a carabiner. It has some other little things on the inside. Oh, oops, sorry. There we go. I meant to do this. You don't see it. I had to get rid of the other screen on my screen so I could see what I'm looking at. But just a paracord, little device. No, not even a device. It's just, it actually has like a metal hook on the inside. So if you have to go fishing, you end up somewhere and, you got to go fishing for some reason, it has all that wrapped up inside. So it's actually a pretty cool little thing here. Just very, very random piece. There's zero others I could find that were sold on this. There's no sales history at all. The brand itself, the Friendly Swede, there are other things from the Friendly Swede that have sold. It's not very much, so you can't pay too much for these things. Maybe about $1 or $2. These are the items that I always throw. I talk about this all the time about the icing on the cake. When I'm doing bundles, I throw these little things on top of the bundle because I know they will sell. And what did it sell for? Actually sold for a great price because it just did. Okay, the Swede, the friendly Swede. What did it sell for? $13.50. Shipping was $5.26. And this just goes, this doesn't even go in a padded poly mailer. This went in just a regular poly mailer. I did wrap it once in bubble wrap, and I threw it in the poly mailer and sent it on its way. Really cool, tiny little piece. I made money on the shipping because I charged I charged for 10 ounces, and this came out to about 4 ounces with the packaging. Just really, really cool icing on the cake stuff that still sells, stuff that you would probably reject natural. I mean, if you're cherry picking items, you're going there, you're just picking up one. You're at Goodwill. This would not be a pickup at all. Well, if it was like $1 or even $2, $2 is a little bit of a stretch in my opinion, but you're definitely still making money on $2. If you're bundling, I'm throwing this on top, and you've seen other items that I've sold, tiny items that I talk about, icing on the cake items. These are the just pure profit at this point, because when I'm bundling items, I'm looking for items that are going to pay for that bundle and get me into the profit. And all these other items I throw on top are all pure profit items, and they're easy to store, easy to ship. Piece of cake. So really cool piece. I probably wouldn't have bought it. If it wasn't brand new, if it didn't have that brand new tag on it, I probably wouldn't have bought it. But because it had the tag, that's one of the reasons why I bought it and sold it. All right. Next item here. Oh, these are, this is from I remember when Bluetooth, everybody started, Bluetooth first came out. Everybody was talking about Bluetooth. Everybody had these little Bluetooth headsets. Everybody thought they were important. They slap one of these Bluetooth headsets on, and but they still sell. These things still sell. This is brand new. I've sold them used before. Obviously, brand new, you get a bit more for them. And what do we make on this one? I found this at Goodwill, by the way. It sold for pretty good. It was over $50. $56? $54 is what it sold for. $54. This goes in the padded poly mailer. $8.79 is what the shipping was. Over 2 pounds. Probably went somewhere close. But Bluetooth headsets, these vintage Bluetooth headsets do it really, really well. Some of the Plantronics ones do even better. This one did really well. If it was used, I don't think it would have done as well. But because it was, brand new, sealed, great piece. Look for this old tech. It still does incredibly well. I probably could use vintage in here because this is vintage. But I mean, it doesn't even use the latest Bluetooth, tech, the latest Bluetooth version we're on. So it's probably not that good, but people still want them. People still use them. My assumption is, like, for me, when it comes to mice and keyboards and everything, like my mice, I really love these old mice. I love the feel of them. I love the look of them. This one here was one I used so much in first-person shooter games. This Microsoft one, it just became so comfortable for me, and we're willing to spend. We're willing to spend and pay up for these items that we used to have, because they don't make they don't make this anymore. They don't make this one anymore. How are you going to get them? You got to go on eBay or get lucky and hopefully find them at garage sales, flea markets, or Goodwill. So old tech. Some people they love that old tech, and they will stick to it and continually try to buy it if they can. This stuff is still out there. Brand new. It's still out there. Okay. That's out. And what's the next one here? The next one, you've heard me talk about this before, and I'm going to bring it up again. Place card holders. I sell these all the time. Every time I get them. I don't think I have any more. I think this is my last set of actual place card holders. So I don't have any more. I'll definitely be trying to pick up some more if I can. Let's see here. I don't pick up the ones. So the ones I stay away from are the ones that have the little, they sold for $21. These were really, really heavy. They were not pewter. As you can see, I put metal alloy. So what an alloy is basically just a combination of the metals. It's a combination of metals to make, this end product. They look pewter, but they were not pewter. $21, $10.04 is what they spent on shipping, what they paid me for shipping, because they did weigh quite a bit. Surprisingly, they're tiny too. So I don't think I have anything around here, but the place card holders with the little wire that come off top and a little spiral, I stay away from those. Those are not worth it. These are the ones that you really, really got to find. The ones that just have a little slit there. They're a cool design. I think I sold the fruit. I showed the fruit in a few videos. Those were ceramic ones. So it's all about the subject matter here. That's what sells these things. And obviously, they got to be somewhat of good quality. So you definitely got to be able to identify the quality of these pieces. And these were really, really nice. Obviously, it has some great appeal there. Ocean, crustaceans, starfish, vintage shells. Really cool. I always try to, whenever I'm dealing with something from the ocean, I try to put ocean in there as well as sea as well too. I try to use those two keywords. But just really cool pieces. They're really nice. I mean, probably just made in China pieces, but they're really well done. Very, very heavy. Very, very cool. Place card holders. You wouldn't believe it, but people buy them. Just like people buy forks, spoons, knives, dinner knives, butter knives. People still buy these things. So keep your eye out for them. Okay, let's close that out. Again, like I said, subject matter is everything. Everything when it comes to these. Okay, now on to the piece that I'm going to talk a little bit more about here. TP-Link Gigabit power line adapters. Now, first and foremost, what do they sell for? They sold for power line $22.50, $8.79 is what they spent for shipping those items out. So really cool sale here. Now, power line adapters. What are power line adapters? Power line adapters are you plug it in to the wall. They have a plug on the opposite side, a standard, 2 prongs. You plug it in, and it also has some of them have multiple, but it has an Ethernet plug on the bottom. It takes your house's power lines, the line that take power everywhere around your house, and it turns it into a network. Amazing little devices, and it can give you a wired connection where you potentially don't have maybe that great of a wireless signal, or you don't want to drill into walls and hardwire things. Now, they aren't going to give you the fastest. Now, they say gigabit. Now, just really quick, gigabit is far different from gigabyte. A lot of people know, talking about computers, how many gigabytes is your hard drive? How many gigabytes of memory does it have? Gigabit is different. It's smaller. So people think, oh man, I'm gonna, these things are gonna, I'm gonna be able to transmit data, or transfer data at gigabyte speeds. No, you're not. It's gigabit. So gigabit speed, and if you see any modern routers, switches, anything like that, you'll see gigabit speed, or you hear people talking about internet. Oh, it's gigabit speed. Basically, it's 1,000 megabits. We're not getting into all that. We're not getting into the whole misinformation that a lot of these companies do with the speeds and all that stuff. But you're not getting gigabit speed. I'll tell you that right now, going over your power lines. You're not really going to get close to if you plug it directly into the back of your router. But it will be pretty good and give you a pretty solid connection, a consistent connection to your network, and hence internet. So where would you use these? Well, I use this because my security camera set up here at my home, I want it in a central location. And obviously, I don't want to drill through walls, drop lines, and all that. It wasn't going to be very convenient for me. So I was like, you know what? I'll just use a power line adapter. It was right where the where my security camera hub sits. They're just plugged. There's plugs everywhere in the house, and so it was like duh. I should just get a power line adapter and plug it in, and just be done with it and not have to worry about anything like that. So I got a power line adapter, plugged it in there. You have to have two. You have to have one plugged in near your router, and then you have to have one line going from your router to the power line adapter. Then you can just plug these in anywhere, and you can plug in multiple as well too, in your house, and then just plug in your device to one. You take the Ethernet cord from your device, and then just plug it into the end of this power line adapter, and you'll have a wired connection. Pretty reliable as well too. I haven't had many issues with these. There was one time where I did have one that went out, and I really don't know why. But it did go out, so I had to buy some new ones. They were a bit old. I was reusing some from a previous house, so I was like, you know what, I'll just buy some new ones, and so working great ever since. Obviously, so when it comes to the speed, like gigabit speed, you don't want to be kind of like hindered by a lower speed. So obviously, gigabit speed, you're not going to get close to gigabit speed, but you'll get more than if it's just 500 megabits. So you're going to get at least more than that. But they're just really cool, really surprisingly reliable devices. And if you need a wired connection, if you have your computer somewhere and you do streaming, or you do, you want consistent, you don't want your YouTube to be all pixelated or anything like that all the time, pick up one of these. Well, you got to pick up two of them. You got to pick up a set of two at least. And these are really good, great devices. TP-Link, a great brand to look out for. So, again, power line adapters, if you want a wired connection to your network and therefore internet, this will get you that, and a wired connection. I always recommend having a wired connection to your network as opposed to a wireless connection. Wireless is not necessarily the most reliable. I mean, it's pretty reliable nowadays, but really doesn't beat a wired connection. I have all my stuff here in my office, my computers, my multiple computers, my what else? I have my TV, my server. Everything is wired directly to the internet here, because wired directly to my network. See, I'm stumbling upon my own words. Wired directly to my network, so my connection is rock solid on all my devices here. And then pretty much the only devices that are wireless that rely on my wireless access points are my phones. And that's really just the phone. I mean, my son's PS5. That one is wireless, so that's the other one that relies on a wireless connection. But otherwise, everything else is hardwired, and that's the way I like it. But otherwise, that's enough talking. This video has probably gone long enough. Let me go and close that out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I know we talked a little bit too much tech, and this isn't really much of a tech channel, but I thought it's important. And when this sale came through, it just gave me the good, what do you call it? Gave me the reason to speak about it. So if the tech is not for you, don't worry. This is not all about tech. This is all about reselling, how to make money, what we're selling, and what you should be looking for and picking up while you're out there. Thank you guys for watching. Please like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below. And we'll be back to tomorrow video. Oh, we're still in Sacramento, so we're still in Sacramento for tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching.